Ever feel like you're doing everything right, but still feel stuck? The career, the house, the script we followed, yet something's missing. Everyone said we made it. We realized we'd been climbing someone else's ladder. That realization sparked a journey toward liberation, toward Africa, toward intention. We haven't left yet, but the shift has already begun. Liberation doesn't start with a move. It starts the moment you stop asking permission. Hi, I'm Simone.
Hi, and I'm Luke.
And welcome back to our liberation journey, where we share how we are building location-independent businesses, investing in Africa, as well as planning our family's relocation to South Africa. And last few episodes, we always want to start by expressing our gratitude for everyone who has been following along on our journey, who has taken the time to share their feedback, their perspectives, their well wishes. We definitely always appreciate those who take the time not only to watch but also to leave comments and words of encouragement, as well as suggestions for things that we can do, consider, and all of that wonderful stuff. So any words from you, Luke, as far as gratitude?
Thank you. We appreciate the love. We appreciate the support. And we definitely see it. We love it. And I think you summed it up. You definitely shared how we feel. And I can add to that and just say once again, thank you. Appreciate the love.
Mm-hmm. All right. So today we actually wanted to have this nuanced, layered conversation, which was actually sparked by someone who left a comment. So today's topic is going to focus on African Americans who are moving to living in South Africa, and really focusing on this idea of integration versus isolation versus belonging. And so we're definitely going to take our time to kind of peel back all of the different layers and aspects. And we'll definitely want to get your perspective and feedback as to what your thoughts are about this particular topic and issue. So yeah, let's get into it.
Let's get into it. That's the most important thing. Like you said, we're gonna peel back some layers and take our time.
Yes.
Take our time and get this going.
Yes. So first thing is, when African Americans are talking about moving to Africa, there's often this word that keeps coming up, and it's home.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people in the African diaspora, when they think about relocating to Africa, it's from a lens of a return home. And so one of the things that we've noticed is that in all of that energy and excitement around being able to finally return home, the reality is that, it necessarily is not, this instant sense of belonging that people experience. And, they realize that, one, certainly the continent of Africa is vast, with many different cultures, languages, history,
Identity.
identity.
Yes.
So, although there is certainly a familiarity as far as being of African descent, but when you are growing up in an area outside of the continent and then deciding to relocate to the continent,
Mm-hmm.
you have to really keep in mind all of those different aspects um, when you are moving. And so, what we have found is that, particularly when talking about, we're going to focus on African Americans in South Africa because, again, for those who are not familiar with our channel, we have traveled to South Africa on multiple occasions over the past year.
Mm-hmm.
So our experience on the continent has really been specifically in South Africa. And so, what we have noticed with respect to African Americans moving to South Africa is that they kind of fall into these one of two pathways.
Yes.
Okay. And so, what we're going to focus on first is this idea of moving to South Africa and living in this expat bubble.
Okay.
So, Luke, from your time that you've spent, from your interactions and conversations with African Americans who have moved and relocated
Mm-hmm.
to South Africa, what would you say from your perspective is what would you say from your perspective, how those who have kind of decided or have kind of fallen into this pathway of living in what we would describe as like an expat bubble?
Um, you know, I would sum it up as the expat bubble as there's social circles with mostly other Americans. Um, there's familiar routines and communities, and living in an expat friendly area. So to sum that up, there's a routine that we see that people follow to make the transition, the move, um, comfortable, right? Um, at first, that's what I see.
So, what would you say to the idea that, people are like intentionally deciding to kind of isolate themselves? Let's
I
just use that word,
honestly,
isolation.
let's sum this up. Let's like so. There's nothing wrong with that, right? For many people, it simply feels familiar and comfortable. So like I don't see it wrong with people doing that, making it be wrong. But excuse me, got caught up in my words for a minute. But like I said, we're gonna take our time and peel this back and make sure we break this down the right way. So I don't see anything wrong with that. You know.
Okay. What I would say to the idea of living kind of in an expat bubble is that I think oftentimes, as Luke kind of mentioned, it's more of like a comfort, right?
Yes.
So people who have decided to leave what they've known their entire lives, leave kind of their friends, family, environment that they are very familiar with and move into a new environment. It's very easy to kind of fall into this kind of affinity towards gravitating towards people who also have come from the
Yes.
U.S.,
Yes.
who have relocated. So you'll find that oftentimes people, like their friendship circle, the people that they kind of hang out with routinely when they've relocated, often can be other Americans who have relocated because they have a similar experience, particularly when it comes to like really uprooting your whole life and moving to a completely new place. And so having that kind of familiarity, that kind of similar experience can often result in people kind of just naturally gravitating towards people who have that same experience.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't say it's right or wrong. I would just say that it's really about understanding why some people kind of fall into that path of spending a lot of their time with other Americans. Because I mean, you can look at it both ways. You can look at it from the familiarity standpoint, but I think one thing I would also encourage, particularly African Americans who are deciding to move to South Africa, is to also keep in mind that what that can kind of communicate to South Africans is, this idea that you don't want to be, associated with them. And while from our personal experience with, talking to, communing with people who have moved to South Africa that are from the US, it isn't necessarily an intent like, oh, I'm not trying to deal with, South Africans. It's really just a matter of finding that that village of people that you can kind of lean on for support, and it's in a way easier to kind of gather that support when you are having a very similar kind of lived experience as far as relocating from a whole different country, a whole different continent, and then moving somewhere else. So I think that often is why a lot of you may see a lot of Americans tend to hang out with other Americans when they relocate, is because of that kind of familiar experience and really trying to navigate this whole new life of being in a whole new continent, in a whole new culture environment, just navigating all of those different aspects. It can oftentimes just be that familiarity that results in people kind of having these social circles where it's, maybe predominantly other Americans. So yeah, I would say that, to echo, I wouldn't say it's good or bad. I would just say that it is one way in which people may fall into that path. And the thing that I would also say is that it can often result in isolating yourself and having a different experience while you're living in South Africa. Because again, it can relay a message that you may not necessarily be thinking that you're relaying, but it can come off that way. And then people can, because of how it's coming off to local South Africans, the way that they engage with you can be different. So I think it's just something to just kind of be aware of and cognizant of. And again, it's not to bash or shame or do any of that. It's just to kind of speak to kind of the realities of what people are navigating.
Yeah.
Anything else from that perspective as far as that one path of this expat bubble?
No, I think we've broken that down well to the point where we basically said there's no right way or wrong way, but just giving people a path to understand of what we see, how we feel, and what other people are seeing and doing. So, yeah.
So that was one of two paths. The other path is actually integration, which we have seen that side of it as well, where we have seen African Americans who have been living in South Africa for many years, who have, really integrated themselves into the culture, who have, built, long-standing relationships with many South Africans, not just like on a person, but on a personal level, on a business level, all of the above,
Yeah.
and really taken the time to immerse themselves in the many different cultures within South Africa. And so, again, not to say that you have to integrate, but I think one of the things that we have seen is that the people who really are living a very like full, robust, really what's the word I want to use? I don't want to say capitalized, but that is really benefiting and really.
It forms a sense of community. Like,
Yeah.
it definitely forms a sense of community. I'm not sure if that was the word you were looking for, but it definitely forms a huge sense of community where it's welcoming. And it's appreciated, and we've seen that when we've come out there several times, and once we had conversations and we share not only about like because the conversations normally come to us like, so how is it there? It's always talk about the States, but we want to talk about South Africa, and so they love the fact that we engage, we understand the culture, we understand the community, how things operate and move there. That's key, and that's what we love about it.
Yeah. So yeah, I think one of the things that I have noticed is that for some African Americans who tend to kind of fall into that expat bubble, I think sometimes the mindset is that somehow integration means that you're losing your identity as an African American. And I think part of that is just rooted in the experience of African Americans as far as integration in the US. When you talk about integrating as an African American in the US, oftentimes there is a certain layer of kind of setting aside your identity as an African American in order to integrate and particularly make others feel comfortable. And oftentimes that requires you leaving some parts of yourself at home and to the side and not, really being able to be your full self, because oftentimes it can be received as a negative when you are living that experience as a Black person in the US.
That is
so I think I wanted to kind of bring that part of it up, just so that particularly South Africans can kind of understand why some people may be a little reluctant to integrate because of that baggage. I'll just say that. Because of the baggage that comes with the lived experience of being Black in America and having to integrate yourself into a society where, Blackness is not celebrated. And actually there's a lot of anti-Blackness built into the infrastructure and systems within the US. So I think that part of it we just have to also kind of just be aware of.
Yes.
On both sides. Being aware of it as an African American relocating, and being very thoughtful and intentional about understanding how that experience in the US doesn't translate the same way to South Africa. So maybe trying to leave that baggage of what integration feels like in the US versus integrating into a society, into a culture actually multicultural societies such as South Africa. I think it's very important to just kind of be aware of those nuances. And again, it's we don't want to come off as like preaching to
No,
anyone
that's not what
or
we doing.
saying one way is right, the other way is wrong. It's just really trying to open up the conversation so it can be more of an understanding and an open dialogue, so that we can continue to build.
That's why we're here, and that's why we're doing this. And like to sum it up, it's about like basically participating in the society and in the culture and location you've chosen to live in. So like be a part of it. That's the goal here, right? Everyone comes and lays a brick. We build together, and that's the most important thing when you do come to that location is you do that. So being part of the community, be a part of the culture, participate.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think also setting expectations.
Yes.
I think, particularly, again, kind of going back to the beginning where we're talking about for African Americans relocating to the continent, to specifically South Africa, there's this excitement about being able to return home. And so there's often this expectation by just showing up as an African American that automatically there's going to be this belonging.
Right away, we
Like
expect this to happen. Like this is immediate. No.
And so I think we should just kind of be aware of the nuances again, where yes, there is a shared experience as being, of African descent with, South Africans. But again, they have their own identity. They have multiple different cultures,
Yes.
languages, their own history. So to expect that automatically just showing up and you're just going to be belonging, and there aren't going to be kind of these different nuances that you just have to be aware of, cultural differences and way things are communicated, the way things are done. I think it's just important to just have come with a certain humility, come with a curiosity, and come with just an openness to learn and to grow, and not necessarily coming with this expectation that automatically I'm here and
like, let's go.
Y'all need to accept
No,
me.
don't. No,
I think we also have to come with a certain kind of understanding as well.
Very well put together. I like that.
So, thus far we've been really talking about kind of from the lens of African Americans, because obviously we are African Americans. But I do want to bring in the perspective as far as, South Africans, because, that's very important to us. And I think it should be important to any individual who's deciding to relocate to South Africa, is to really keep within the conversation the perspectives of South Africans.
Yeah, because like you mentioned before, it's a society, like it's formed, it has its culture, it has its identity, and it has its history. So like that's the most important thing, is to be aware of that. Be aware of that.
Yeah. And so for us, it's been interesting because, we've done several episodes sharing our journey thus far. And we've gotten a lot of feedback, as mentioned, from a comment standpoint. And so we've definitely seen firsthand, not only in our travels, the welcoming nature, the warmth of South Africans, but also in all the different comments that have been left from South Africans on our previous episodes. And so we've definitely gotten a lot of those, welcome
Welcome home,
home.
the love and all that. Yeah.
We're so happy that you have decided to come,
Yeah.
come back home.
Respect. Yeah. Welcome. Come back. I can't wait to see you.
Your family, all of those different types of messages. We've gotten so many of those messages on essentially, I think, every video we've put up. We've had numerous messages like that as far as welcoming people home, welcoming us home.
Yes.
So we definitely appreciate that.
We do.
But on the flip side of that, we don't want to ignore, the other perspective where people have communicated, concerns.
Yes.
Oftentimes, the concerns that have been communicated and comments from previous episodes have been around the economic impact of more and more, foreigners migrating or immigrating to South Africa. Housing concerns.
Yes.
So we definitely want to acknowledge that particular perspective and concern. And really, we would love to, since this is the topic of this particular episode, we would certainly love to hear from South Africans as far as what your perspective is.
That's important.
Yeah.
Their perspective is important, and we would love to hear about it. And please comment. Please comment, and we do review those, and we respond back, and we would love to hear what you have to say. We really do.
Yeah. So I think the question I would specifically pose to South Africans is when, particularly specifically, African Americans move to South Africa, do you see them as family returning or foreigners arriving? So definitely leave your comments, your perspectives, because again, we come to this with a sense of humility, a sense of really wanting to learn as much as we can.
Yes.
And we come with a respect. Like we are not here to try to dictate to others how they should feel, how they should think. It's really, we want to build a relationship with South Africa. And certainly that relationship obviously has to involve building relationships with South Africans.
Yeah.
And so we are fully committed to that. And we would love to hear your perspectives. And, we really want your honesty, right?
Honest opinion.
Because, we don't want to be placated and, many things can be true at the same time, right?
Yeah.
People can certainly have a feeling of wanting to welcome, wanting to welcome African Americans to South Africa, but at the same time may also have concerns, particularly around, economic concerns and how having more and more foreigners relocating
can change things.
And having an impact on, affordability, like we mentioned, housing. So we definitely want to hear. We definitely want to hear from you, and we definitely want to hear your honest perspectives. The only thing I would ask is if you can do it respectfully.
Please come in there with respect.
Like,
you know, like we want to communicate, but we want to connect, right? So
yeah.
please come in there with respect. That's the most important thing, because we give it, and we would love to receive it back. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the things I wanted to take a little bit of time to kind of share,
Let's do it,
is our personal experiences.
Okay.
With respect to, again, so for those who may have not watched prior videos, Luke and I traveled to South Africa. Well, for the very first time was in 2019.
Yeah.
But within the past year, we traveled in 2024 in November.
Yeah.
Then we came back again in April of 2025.
Yeah.
And then I came back with our eldest son in 2025 in the summer. Well, our summer, but it was kind of the beginning, not quite winter, but in June, July of 2025.
Yeah.
I came back for a third time. Well, actually, technically my fourth time. But anyway, we've been there multiple times. Let's just put it that way. Within the past year. And so, you know, during all of those trips, we established relationships with people.
Yes, great relationships.
So I'm going to let you start because, believe it or not, he's actually the talkative one.
Listen.
even though oftentimes I'm the one kind of talking a lot on the videos, he's actually the extrovert. I'm the introvert. And so he talks to everybody wherever we go. He talks to everybody.
Yeah, I do.
When I say everybody, I mean everybody.
It's important that you
so I'm going to let you talk about kind of your experience with, meeting, building relationships with South Africans.
Well, where do we start, right? So we start the first time now, which was like
whatever you want to start with.
I love connecting with people from South Africa. It's very important. Like you've heard me say it in the episodes before, everyone communicates with you connect. I communicate with everyone, but I don't connect with everybody. And one thing I can say is coming to South Africa, I've made some great connections. And I'm still in communication and connecting with these people because it's just a vibe. It's like it's just connecting with the brothers, you know, and just coming together as one, and we stay in movement together, which is important. And like I said before, it's great. I do love talking to people and just seeing where they're at, but also you never know who you're talking to and what they need, from just the voice of you just sharing who you are. And I come off as who I am, and you see me on this, but in person I'm very genuine. I care, and I think everyone has that voice that needs to just share with people. So I've connected with young men out there to the point where we stay in contact, and I do mentorship with them as well, and they are like, hey, we appreciate you reaching out and just remembering me, and like just checking in. Like it's you're up, and it's like it's important that we do that because we have to reach each other anywhere we can, and I love doing it here, so I can only imagine. I know how I'm gonna do it when I get there. I'm gonna continue to keep doing that, but it's not it doesn't come off as like when you connect with them and you reach out, like what do they want? What does he want? It comes off as like love. It's real. Like, what's up, my brother? Like, how are you? And they want to know about where I'm from in the States. I share, but I keep it like real with them to the point where we talk about life. You know what I'm saying? And they share with me how it is to be a black male, a black man in South Africa, and we do the the comparisons and so forth, and talk about just what's important. And I've met people in the malls, in restaurants, running in the streets. Like I said before, I'm an avid runner, so people will run up to me, say I've seen you last time when you was here, then we start running a couple of miles, and they go their way, I go my way. I communicate and talk with the homeless because they need that, and it's, when I came out there, second time we came out in November, we get up every day at 5 in the morning. You see the community walking, people going to work. Believe it or not, I'm up early, smiling, connecting with them, saying what's up. And I talk to everybody, like my wife said before, to the point where I'm not afraid to walk up to you and just see how you're doing. But I'm also going to share my life. We're going to talk and build. So, sums it up, right?
Yeah, I mean, there are a few people that you still communicate with, that you met
Yeah.
in South Africa, who are South Africans.
Yes.
That are looking forward to connecting when you get back in a couple weeks.
So that is, we are coming back out in a couple of weeks. So I'm counting down the days. I'm looking forward to it, to connecting with the people I've met before, but I'm also looking forward to meeting new people as well, and creating new friendships and growing and getting ready for this transition, this move that we're making, to bring them into our I don't like to call it a circle, but like our community.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah,
and I mean, I would certainly echo that. Each time that we traveled, we've added to our community.
Yes.
We've met some very wonderful people who we definitely look forward to the opportunity to be able to spend more time with them, because again, each time that we traveled, it wasn't for long periods of time, but even within those short periods of time, being there on multiple occasions, we were able to really connect with people that we still communicate with, and definitely look forward to seeing again.
Yes.
When we come back in a few weeks. So yeah, I think and now I'm speaking specifically to African Americans. I think if you come with a very open heart, you come with a sense of openness and humility, people in South Africa are going to embrace you.
Yeah.
And you are going to meet some amazing people who will certainly, become, family.
Yes.
I mean, some of the people that I'm thinking about, it's not like we spent weeks and weeks in South Africa, but even during those short periods of time, we definitely connected with people. And yeah, we look forward to catching up and seeing them in person. Yeah. Certainly we've communicated over the time that, we haven't been there, but we definitely look forward to being able to connect with them again live and in person.
Yes, you know who you are. You know who you are. You
don't want to call.
We don't want to call no names, but
without getting the proper.
Without the proper.
Okay.
Okay. But you know who you are. Looking forward to seeing you. Definitely. We are creating a list of things to do, and I'm like, where do we start? And that list is growing, and I'm like, I don't think we got enough time to do all this, but we're going to make it work.
We'll eventually be back for the long haul.
For the long haul. So, but while we are there in the next couple of weeks, we're looking forward to seeing you. Like I said before, you know who you are. And looking forward to seeing new faces. Like you said, we love to connect with people. And my wife is right. I do the talking. I love the talk. But it's a gift.
People aren't gonna believe.
They're not gonna believe
that I'm an introvert.
Nah, she is the one. I'm normally the one, making things, and it will happen with the voice and talking to the people, and just me. It's just who I am. It's just I come off that way, and it's, I bring good vibes. I have that aura. We have that aura. But
Yeah.
I'm the one that just goes with the, talk.
Yeah, I think I want to just keep harping on the fact that I'm an introvert, because I definitely don't want people to like, maybe run into,
Yeah, you
us
gotta hit her up, like,
and
cause
maybe be a little bit like off, like, why is she so quiet? Like,
yeah, she
she's not
is.
what I expected to be in
No.
purpose.
We are growing through this journey together, like, and it's like I'm like, wow, like, Simone is, she's enjoying, like, when
Stepping
you
out of my
stepping
comfort
out of the
zone.
comfort zone and peeling layers back and making a pivot, right, which is great. But we're growing in this together.
Yeah.
And I enjoy hearing her open up and talk and speak, and so I can't come off as being quiet, but I'm enjoying this. I'm not quiet. And one thing I can say is, like, when we do mention South Africa, like, I bring it up, and I'm like, hey, let's talk about South, and that see the smile on her face that pops up, and I'm saying it often. I'm like, yeah, she's smiling like it's this one, like South Africa, like, bought the suitcases, right? We're not gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
But nah, just to just sum it up. Let's keep it moving, and so we don't keep them here long. But we give them good information, good vibes, good love, and like I said before, let's keep this moving. Let's keep this moving, so we keep it how we've been doing it, and it's okay to get off the path, but we can pivot back and talk about the topic, what means the most. And what we do share, we mean it.
Yeah.
And we're learning, and we love learning. And please comment, because we will take the information and respond. But please come into the comments with respect. Please, please,
Yeah.
come in
No,
there with respect.
I think, listen, the 95% of the commentary has been nothing but respect,
all love.
And so I definitely don't want to put out there in the atmosphere as if it's this issue with people not being respectful, because it's certainly not. And like Lou said, we definitely love hearing from you. We're always learning.
Yes.
And again, this whole conversation was sparked by a comment that someone left about, really encouraging African Americans to make sure that they take the time to really get to know South Africans.
Yes.
Don't kind of fall into that that isolation, and really, come with an open heart and a willingness to build relationships with people, genuine relationships with people, because it's important. I think it's definitely important to build those relationships. So you can have that sense of belonging, kind of going back to like the very beginning, where, where do we belong? And I think belonging develops, one, through relationships, two, through understanding. And I think that understanding comes again with that willingness to learn, with that humility that keeps that line of communication open, so that we can understand each other better. We can understand each other's experiences, and really recognize that we have a lot of shared experiences.
Yes.
And a lot of parallels when it comes to even culturally. We may do it a little bit different, but I think there are a lot of similar undertones as far as what we value and how we go about living life.
Like I said, we talk about this all the time. I love the pace out there. Respect the pace, right? Respect the pace.
Yeah.
Don't come out there think you about to. Nah, not happening. Respect the pace.
No.
You know, I love I love it because it's
Yes.
a sense of like, you know, it comes off as
Peace.
like peace and you
Not
just
rushed.
yeah, it's music. It's good music. That's how it's relaxing. But it's you move at a pace where you are, you're working, you're moving, but it's their pace, and I love that pace.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you. We appreciate you. And definitely leave your comments.
Yeah, that's important.
Oh, and I don't want to leave out our African American brothers and sisters who are living in South Africa. We definitely want to hear from you.
Yes, please.
And, you know, what has been your experience with living in South Africa and building relationships, and how that has
How are you navigating with
Yes.
that? Like that's the
Yes.
word. How are you navigating with that? Please.
how have you navigated?
Yeah. How are you? How have you?
Yes.
Please share because like you know it's a lot of African Americans there because we do watch the content as well. It's important.
Yeah.
But please share with us how things are moving and working for you, and what you share may help us as well. Because like you said before, like we said before, everybody comes and lay that brick. We'll be good, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So are we good?
Yeah, no,
So-
we're good. One thing I will say is we are going to do most likely a live.
Oh, we are? We
Yes.
did talk about that. Yeah.
We're gonna do a live.
We're gonna do it in
most-
South Africa?
No, we're gonna do it next weekend.
We are?
Yeah, with a special family.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll make like a actual formal announcement, so that you know you can kind of be aware of when we're actually gonna go live. We're just finalizing the time, but yeah. So
Yeah, we
stay
are
tuned
doing
for that.
Yeah, stay
We're
tuned.
gonna have a wonderful conversation with another couple, and so yeah.
Looking forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Know what's going on. Just
We
being
can't
so
wait to
having
get
fun.
back.
Can't wait.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Counting down the days.
Counting down.
the days.
You know,
So,
looking
yeah.
forward to it.
So, final words?
Thank you. We see the support. We love the support. But the most important thing is that time. It's that time. Please, like, share, subscribe to our liberation journey. Because sharing is caring.
Yes.
Till next time.
Till next time.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Peace.
Take care. Bye.